Africa nossa. Africa, Africa, Africa. Africa minha, Africa nossa.
Seu já clarear, consciência já desanuviar.
Network was born after a wide consultation from female students from various institutions, after a serious consideration on issues which affect female students in those institutions. Since the inception of FSN, I think we have managed to cover as much ground as possible in trying to address challenges which female students are facing. We started with a pilot project focusing on domestic violence. It was a campaign on Stop Violence campaign, where we distributed sanitary ware branded with peace messages to try and enlighten female students and also to convey the message on female students to be able to speak out on issues of domestic violence at campus. The major focus on the global political agreement was to enhance participation on female students, be it at community level, at institutional level, and at national level. Because as the GPA speaks, it speaks about the national processes, which we thought as an organization, it also affects students as citizens of Zimbabwe.
On the young female students at GZU is that they lack finance.
Students of the whole school and a college, everyone is facing challenges financially, and obviously it will come as a huge challenge to female students.
Kautara nyaya yangu concerning like sexual harassment inoitika kuma students. Ndichirefera nezvakaitika kwandiri. Munhu wese anga kuti yo udana lecturer yo, and iye manje he was now defending himself as a lecturer, since singatenderi kuti like lecturer no matter what circumstances anoita love affair nemwana wechikoro. Saka anga kuita zvekuti blackmail manjeni ndiye akauya kwandiri, ndiye aida mafavors from inini, ndiye anozvunza kwandiri chichi. Saka you find kuti pachikoro as a woman you lose your dignity.
And then when it comes to harassment and all some of the things, well, lecturers are really fair at times, but you know, human beings are human beings. At one point in time, we have someone going off the line. Like myself, I had an ordeal once upon a time. Somebody used to go to a certain lecturer, ask for my marks, and plead for more marks than mine from that lecturer. So the lecturer was willing enough to ask me, why are you having that grudge with that certain girl? Well, I didn't know what was behind the scene, but I just expected that they were giving each other favors. So that's why I can conclude that some of the female students at JM Poly are actually abused to such an extent of asking for favors more than someone else.
It seems as if women at our institution do not usually know who they are. They're just afraid of interrogating the patriarchal society that is being dominant at AU. If we look at the SRC committee, our last year SRC votes, about 3 women participated, but no one won.
I'm takuzwa kudyanga my problems and kuona rufisana ni female students from Tertiary Poly. I think my financial problems, in fact, was kwanza kuanga kungewachwana mari yakawanda yekutenga kana kubhadhara na fees, so they will end up vakuita kana ngati chihure in fact kuti vawane mari.
There is yechikoro kusatoziva chaiko chaiko. Ukana usikazive chikoro, my lecturers, they take advantage of you. Then they use you kuti vakwanise kukupasisa and they won't go kuti ndidzokera mba ndisina kupasa then ndaremedza vabereki kwangu, then you are forced to kudana nema
of getting accommodation out of campus. Most female students were ending up like the ones that got like accommodation on campus. They ended up trading it, selling it for something like what, $500 to $600, so that they can stay in town. Thereby, the others that got in town, through proper channels, they are now forced to get money. That is money to add up to their rentals, because most of our parents, all because we're paying something like 2,055, it's not possible for them to add on some more money for transport and also for housing, staying in town. Because when you're staying in town, it's something like 21 kilometers from Tare. So that means you've got to fork out $2 in the morning coming to campus and $2 going back. And if you use the bus, it's just 50 cents, but then the timetables are different. So most students are now resorting to the Ngoda boys so that they can get money for rentals in town, because like a room it was now charging $150.
Tekero wavo isicherwa na mai acho hatichatofarina nokuti hembe dzavanopfeka namwarikadzi hatizi kuti vaneva zvezvikonzerwa kune ende kana kwasviba unozoona vachiuya nemadhara vanhu vakuru kwavari vatori vakuru kune vabereki vavo chaivo chaivo zvokuti chere ini mai vachoche haipapa mudhara wachakutombo.
They are continuing, but now we have diverted the focus to say we were targeting Article 7, which talks about equality, and Article 18, which speaks about security of persons and prevention of violence, because we're just coming out from elections. Now there's the Constitution, which the GPA is also speaking about. We are now focusing on the question to say, as female students, are we part and parcel? Were we part and parcel even before the draft is now available?
Actually, students are not getting enough information about these processes, because I said I attended the meeting which talked about the new constitution, but then I'm still struggling to get a copy so that I can show my friends. They are still promising, no, you are going to get a copy so that you can distribute it, but then I still don't have it. And only one section was discussed on the meeting, so I know nothing about the rest, which means those who were left behind who didn't attend the meeting actually know nothing.
Gender equity nowadays, but what I see with the female students is that they lack the confidence. I can give a scenario of during the lectures. As far as participation is concerned, they are free to participate, but you find out that the participation from female students is very minimum, despite or regardless of the encouragement that they receive from the lecturers and even from their counterparts, the male students. So what I see is that the female students themselves, some of them, they are having a problem with the issue of gender equity and their openness in having their issues addressed, just because they are having what I can say, their approach to their issues, being the addressing of their issues, is not usually professional, because they are being aggressive. So they are marginalizing men as far as their issues are to be addressed. They are not including the male counterparts in their issues. So you find out that the sidelining of male students in the affairs of female students will leave them powerless, because who is to empower them? They are to be empowered by the male students who have the power, because from the issue of patriarchy, find that power rests in the men. So the men are the ones who are to empower the women.
Yeah, generally we as female, we don't feel recognized in the society. So sometimes we don't even see the need to participate. Why should we participate? Even their counterparts, their male counterparts, they go to the extent of listening to what they say, even if it's something that is going to sort of haunt their life. Some, they are taken to be sexual objects just because they cannot stand and speak.
As for the community educating us, there's nothing that has been done. Like Africa, I think most of the people in Mutare, they just like what, segregators, since they think that most of the students that are there, only a quarter are Zimbabweans, less than a quarter in fact, so they never bother about educating us about national issues.
We are also promoting that these students must take up those positions, such like the president, so that they also be able to gather and also make decisions, influence decisions within the college authorities about issues of female students.
So maybe the principal can have some ways to solve the problem of accommodation, because there is a accommodation in the new site which is not yet completed.
Panyaya ma-institutes akaita saya stage inofana kuvatsvagira transport kana kutsvaka maweushes vanhu vanokwanisa kuvabatsira panyaya dzetransport nezvimwe zvinhu zvavanoda mukurarama kwavo.
Patinofunga tikatanga taona accommodation patinonasa kuvaitsveta vari vese varazogara achionekwa vachikondorera tinofunga zvinogona kuti aita.
Well, at Bulawayo Polytechnic, we implement the government policy, which is also our belief that we are all the same. We are all Bulawayo Poly members of the community. We view ourselves as a family, really. We are different, but that difference is there for synergizing, for harmony. We believe in equity. We are against any form of gender or sex discrimination of any kind. We do not tolerate it.
But you know what, to our surprise, female students, they are not part of these national processes. So the GPA has managed to give an impact, to say the female students, after our engagement from the GPA, they are now able to know, they are now informed to know about these national processes, and they now know that they are citizens of Zimbabwe and they must participate for the improvement or the adjustment of these policies which are being articulated in the GPA. So we are now engaging the female students on human rights workshop, because we understand that female students, they are not privy with their rights. They might not know, they don't know actually what are they supposed to be doing. So we are empowering them to educating them on their rights so that they will be able to defend themselves. We are also doing leadership, public lecture on leadership. I think this is a key area where we are equipping these young ladies, these young women, on skills on how to lead, and also to identify and see the importance of being a leader. What is there when you are a leader? We have discovered that there are also several clubs at colleges and universities. So as an organization, our mandate is to network them. And after we have networked them, how can they get involved so that they will be able to influence decision at college level and even at community level?